The Toyota Prius carries the current generation's bold styling into another year with modest updates, a new inked color, dual-zone climate control on the plug-in hybrid, and a small price increase. Here's how the hybrid icon stacks up. The Prius remains one of the most efficient vehicles sold in America. The front-wheel drive LE is EPA rated at 57 miles per gallon city and 56 miles per gallon highway, with a combined figure that different outlets place between 55 and 57 miles per gallon depending on trim and wheel size. For buyers who spend serious money at the pump, that efficiency translates into real, ongoing savings that few non-hybrid vehicles can match, and it does so without asking the driver to plug in or plan around charging infrastructure. Over a typical ownership period, that advantage can add up to thousands of dollars saved compared with a conventional compact sedan, with no change to daily routine and no charging cables to manage. Toyota's fifth-generation hybrid system pairs a 2.0-liter four-cylinder engine with twin-motor generators through a planetary gear eCVT, and the results are far from sluggish. Front-wheel drive models produce 194 horsepower, while all-wheel drive versions add a couple more horses to reach 196. That's a significant jump over the previous generation Prius, and it's enough for a 0 to 60 mile/hour time in the low 7s, quick enough to keep up with traffic confidently, merge without drama, and shed the old appliance on wheels reputation. Selectable drive modes, including normal, eco, and sport, let owners tune the throttle response and hybrid system behavior to match the moment, whether that's stretching every last MPG out of a highway commute or wanting a bit more urgency pulling onto a busy road. Unlike some hybrids that reserve all-wheel drive for a single trim, the Prius offers Toyota's electronic on-demand all-wheel drive system on the LE, XLE, and Nightshade grades. This gives buyers in snowy or rainy climates a genuine reason to consider the Prius instead of shopping exclusively among crossovers. The all-wheel drive system only sacrifices a couple of mpg compared to the front-wheel drive equivalent, so drivers get added traction confidence without gutting the car's signature efficiency. Because the system engages the rear motor electronically and on demand rather than through a mechanical drive shaft, it adds little weight or complexity compared with a traditional all-wheel drive setup. The current generation Prius broke sharply from its predecessor's dowdy image, and the 2027 model continues to lean into that shift. A fastback silhouette, pronounced hood character lines, and swept LED lighting give the car genuine curb appeal, the kind that turns heads rather than blending into a parking lot. The new inked color option adds a dark, sophisticated finish that pairs particularly well with the blacked-out trim on the Nightshade grade, giving buyers another way to personalize the car's exterior. That styling shift matters commercially as well as aesthetically, helping the Prius shed its long-standing reputation as a car bought purely out of duty rather than desire. Meaningful comfort upgrades on the plug-in hybrid. The 2027 model year's headline change is dual-zone automatic climate control, now standard on every Prius plug-in hybrid trim. It's a small feature on paper, but it's the kind of everyday convenience that matters more than most spec sheet bullet points. Front seat occupants can each set their own temperature instead of negotiating over a single setting. Combined with the plug-in hybrid's 220 horsepower output and up to 44 miles of electric-only range, it makes the plug-in variant feel noticeably more upscale than before. That electric-only range is enough to cover most commuters' daily round trip entirely on battery power, meaning many plug-in hybrid owners could go weeks between fill-ups if they charge regularly at home, while still having the gas engine as a safety net for longer trips. Every 2027 Prius trim, LE, XLE, Nightshade, and Limited, plus the plug-in hybrids XSE, Nightshade, and XSE Premium, costs $205 more than the outgoing 2026 model. The standard Prius now starts at $28,755, and the Prius plug-in hybrid begins at $33,980, both before the $1,295 destination and handling fee. Individually, the increase is minor, but it's part of a steady upward trend for a car whose core appeal has always been affordability alongside efficiency. Add in the destination fee, taxes, and any dealer-installed options, and a well-equipped Prius can creep close to $35,000 out the door, a price point that puts it in direct competition with compact SUVs and even some entry-level luxury sedans, categories the Prius has traditionally undercut on cost.
For a new model year, the changes amount to a new paint color and a climate control upgrade limited to the plug-in hybrid. Buyers hoping for a more substantial refresh, updated infotainment, a power bump, or expanded standard safety equipment won't find one here. Toyota is leaning entirely on the strength of the current generation, rather than introducing anything new, which may leave the Prius feeling stagnant next to hybrid rivals refreshing more aggressively. Shoppers cross-shopping closely may find little reason to prefer the 2027 model over a discounted 2026 leftover. Despite the redesign's initial buzz, industry coverage has noted that Prius sales have been declining, and modest year-over-year tweaks like these aren't expected to reverse that trend. In a market where compact and midsize hybrid SUVs are drawing buyers away from hatchbacks and sedans, a Prius update built around a new paint swatch and dual-zone air conditioning is unlikely to generate fresh excitement or pull hesitant shoppers off the fence. Toyota's own hybrid crossovers, including the RAV4 Hybrid and Corolla Cross Hybrid, offer similar efficiency with more cargo room, and that in-house competition may be eroding Prius sales as much as anything from outside the brand. The Prius's biggest selling point is its fuel economy, but that number drops noticeably depending on configuration. Stepping up to all-wheel drive trims from front-wheel drive costs a few mpg, and moving to the XLE, Nightshade, or Limited grades, with their larger wheels and added weight, pushes combined fuel economy down further still, with some all-wheel drive and larger wheel combinations dipping toward the low 50s. Buyers chasing the highest possible fuel economy figure need to stick to the base LE with front-wheel drive, which limits how much of the rest of the lineup delivers on the Prius's headline number. That's a familiar trade-off across the hybrid segment, but it's a particularly pointed one for the Prius, since fuel economy is the single biggest reason most buyers walk into the showroom in the first place, and the marketing-friendly 57 miles per gallon figure applies to only one configuration out of many. The current generation Prius's dramatically lowered, sportier silhouette came at a cost to practicality that carries into the 2027 model. Compared to the boxier previous generation, the redesigned Prius has less rear headroom and a lower roofline that can make taller passengers feel cramped in the back seat, along with reduced outward visibility from the lower, more aggressively raked windshield and thicker rear pillars. Shoppers prioritizing outright interior space or an easy rearward view may find the current shape's styling gains come at the expense of everyday usability. Families who need to fit rear-facing car seats, tall teenagers, or bulky cargo on a regular basis may want to sit in the back seat before buying, since photos and spec sheets don't always convey how the sloped roofline actually feels in person.